welcome to this Almost a Newsletter video tutorial. In this handy-dandy video tutorial, you'll discover how to optimize your images for the search engines. This is important because it means your images will download faster, and that affects your web page's search engine ranking. In the first part of this tutorial, you'll see how to make the image's file size smaller using free software, and we'll do it without sacrificing visual quality. The software is called Paint.net, and you can get it at getpaint.net. In the second part of this video, you'll see how to optimize the code for your images. This too can help improve your page's search engine ranking. Are you ready? Let's go! First, you'll open the image that you want to optimize, and as you can see, I've already got a background image open. Assuming you aren't making any changes to it, click File and Save As. You could simply save the image with the same name in the same location, but if you do that, you won't have the original file in case you need it later. To preserve the original file, you can rename the file or change the location where it's saved, or both. In this case, I'll just rename it to test.jpg. Once you've named your image or changed the location or whatever you're going to do, just click the Save button. Notice now that a dialog box opens that shows you the image, or part of it if it's bigger than the dialog box display window, as in this case. You'll see a slider in the top left corner of the dialog box. As you move the slider, the program will calculate the size of the image if you saved it at that setting. Notice when I move the slider all the way to the left, the file size is drastically reduced, but so is the image quality. So let's move the slider all the way back to the right. You can see if we save the image at this quality level, it would be 432 kilobytes. That's actually a savings over the original file, which, as you can see, was 576 kilobytes. To optimize the image, start with the slider on the right and then move it to the left until you see the image quality start to deteriorate. And I don't know if it'll show in this video or not. This probably isn't a very good image for it, but I noticed it about mid-50s. So when you see that image is starting to deteriorate, move it back up just a little bit for insurance, and there you have 57.9 kilobytes with no loss of visual quality. That's about 1/10 of the original size. As you recall, it was 576. So that image would download 10 times as fast. You probably won't save that much with most files. I made these backgrounds super high quality so they'd be suitable for many uses. But with most images, you can probably cut the file size at least in half, and maybe a lot more if they've never been optimized. So the image will download at least twice as fast as it did before. Once you've adjusted your slider so that the file size is minimized without a loss of visual quality, click the OK button to save it. I'm just going to cancel it because I don't need another copy of this image. When you optimize all your images this way, these are the kind of speed improvements that can help your site rank better. Of course, images aren't the only thing that can slow a site down, but they are probably the most common factor. And let's move on now, and I'll show you how to optimize the code. Here's a typical image tag. Let's optimize it for the search engines. And by the way, when you optimize an image for the search engines correctly, you're also optimizing your page for your website visitors. The first optimization will be obvious to you if you have much experience in web design. We need to add the width and height of the image to the tag. Adding the width and height helps the page to load faster because the browser doesn't have to rearrange the layout as the image information downloads. It's also more user-friendly not to have the page shift around on your visitors as they're trying to read. The width and height can be added using HTML or CSS. We'll use HTML attributes to keep things simple. And there we are. Did you see how fast I typed that? So now let's look at this from a searcher's perspective. Would most searchers just type in the word car? Probably not. They'd be more likely to search for a specific make and model. Let's add that to the code. With that added, now the search engines know the picture is of a 1966 Corvette instead of just a car. At this stage, you're playing the matchmaker. That is, you want to match your image name to the people who are searching for information related to your image. An image should also have an alt tag for folks using screen readers. Alt is short for alternative text. It's text that's shown to people that don't have image capabilities. The alt tag also gives you a chance to add info that helps the search engines to classify your image even more. Let's add that to the code next. As you can see, I've added an alt tag that reads Red 1966 Corvette Stingray. Some folks would search for Stingray instead of Corvette, so now we've got something for them too. Some webmasters would just make the image name and the alt text match, but it's better to have them complement each other whenever possible, rather than have them be exactly the same. It's okay to repeat the primary keyword, Corvette in this case, but try to have them feed off each other rather than just duplicating them. There's one more thing we can optimize in this code. Instead of the directory name of images, I've changed it to Chevrolet. That's the car company that makes the Corvette, so that's one more bit of relevant information we've added to our image code. You could make Chevrolet a subdirectory in your images folder, but this way you could have Chevrolet related videos in the same directory as well. As you can see, this image code is much more optimized than the one we started out with, and it's relevant to the image. As long as you keep it relevant and not too repetitious, it won't be taken as spammy by the search engines. There's one more optimization, and that's to add some relevant text for your readers on the page near the image. Something like, "Here's a picture of my prized Corvette Stingray," or whatever your vet story is. For the best results, you'll want to optimize the code for any images that are relevant to the page content. However, don't get crazy and do things like giving the header image on each page a different set of alt text when it's the same image. That would probably be classified as a spam attempt by the search engines. Just keep things honest and real, and optimize your images for users first and search engines second. Remember, the goal of optimization is to target users who are specifically searching for the content you offer, not to attract visitors under false pretenses who don't want to be on your site. By helping them, you help yourself. By tricking the search engines, and hence your visitors, you are damaging your own results. Alright, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial.